Sheriff kills judge, then manipulates court to get off. Premeditated murder. A bully with a badge. Sheriff Stines, attorney, is presenting the idea that he is not guilty by reason of insanity in a second attempt to get Sheriff Stines off the hook for premeditated murder. The first attempt were the lies that the court was out to get him and his family, which didn't work, but it did enough damage to the integrity of the case for the defense to now claim not guilty by reason of insanity. Sheriff Stines is being sued in federal court because his deputy, Ben Fields, sexually assaulted at least 2 women in Judge Mullins' chambers in 2022 in Kentucky. Sheriff Stines allegedly allowed it to occur and did not investigate any reports or allegations, according to the lawsuit, obviously because he was in on it. The sexual assaults took place in Judge Mullins' chambers because there were no cameras, and it happened after court business hours when staff were gone. Another reason the judge chambers were used was because if any reports or allegations ever occurred, it would implicate the judge. Former Deputy Ben Fields was convicted for sexually assaulting 1 victim, and he got off with a slap on the wrist, just a 6-month sentence, and 3 charges related to a second victim were dropped by a corrupt court for the reason that the second victim died, which is not a valid reason to drop charges. And now, the court is poised to let Sheriff Stines off for a premeditated murder of Judge Mullins. One person claimed they saw Judge Mullins having sex in video footage, but I'm going to dismiss that for now because it's uncorroborated with no evidence to support it, like the alleged video, for example. And then on top of that, Judge Mullins put up a security camera in his office to prevent people from using his office for illegal activity. And being from a background in security, honest people put up security cameras, criminals don't. Sheriff Stines was scheduled to give a deposition related to the lawsuit on September 16th, 2024, 3 days before the shooting. The lawsuit and upcoming deposition prevented Sheriff Stines from sleeping, as he reported that he hadn't slept for 7 days. He was unable to sleep because of a guilty conscience as well as meth use, which is completely out of control in rural states. Meth use prevents people from sleeping and makes them delusional, irritable, and violent. Some officers can become addicted easily because of the stress of the job and the availability of free confiscated drugs. This idea that Sheriff Stines feared for his life and the lives of his family is nonsense. Sheriff Stines' wife asked him to leave the house the night before the shooting because of his conduct and behavior, which I just described. This idea that he left because someone threatened his family makes no sense. So you're a badass sheriff and someone threatens your family, and your answer is to ditch them and take off without them? Meanwhile, Judge Mullins only has power over people who have been arrested and who come before him in court. Sheriff Stines, on the other hand, is much more powerful. He has the guns and the manpower. It's his jurisdiction, and he has the authority to arrest anyone, including Judge Mullins. Sheriff Stines' plan was originally to sell the idea that he shot Judge Mullins because his daughter's number was in Judge Mullins' phone. But what the evidence actually shows is Sheriff Stines entering a number into the judge's phone, digit by digit, one at a time, 10 digits, because the number was not in the judge's phone already. Now, this is called planting fake evidence. Speaking of which, why is it that all of the evidence, with the exception of the video, that shows guilt or makes the sheriff look bad is being suppressed? Like the phone forensics and the witnesses who were in the video and ended up leaving the room, all being suppressed. Furthermore, do I know that Sheriff Stines shot Judge Mullins for sure, 100%? No, because they won't show us. There's no blood. There's no blood spatter. No small rivers coming away from the body. We don't see any recoil from gunfire. I disagree with that. I think they need to show everything to the public. Just put an age restriction on it. But for the sake of this video and this particular case, I will go along with the idea that Stines did shoot Mullins and killed him. But all you have to see when you look at the footage is how bizarre the scene appears in the chambers. And I'm not going to really go over that now because a lot of people have talked about it, but it just looks like a crazy scene with the judge chain smoking, eating snacks, and all of the clutter on the desk. Sheriff Stines was retiring at the end of 2024. So you must imagine that as he's approaching the finish line of his career and about to retire, a lawsuit, especially one of this nature, would interfere with his retirement plans and could also potentially lead to the sheriff's arrest, depending on what came out during the lawsuit. Sheriff Stines said he put his life and his family's lives in danger when he was required by law to give the deposition. So this all stems back to the lawsuit and deposition and him trying to weasel his way out of it. And let's remember and be fair here, Judge Mullins was not included in the lawsuit. The unnamed party referred to Sheriff Stines. And then, of course, the other party in the lawsuit was that former deputy, Ben Fields, who got fired and got arrested. There's nothing in the deposition that would put Stines or his family at risk. I didn't read it personally, but I did talk to someone who read it, and that's exactly what they said. And I believe the person. They put it on YouTube. He just didn't want to cooperate with the deposition or the lawsuit. He doesn't want to be sued, so he casts doubt, makes bogus claims that he's afraid, and the whole song and dance. Now he acts like he's too crazy to be held financially responsible in a lawsuit or mentally responsible for the premeditated murder. It's just a desperate defense. He's working the system. using all of his knowledge and resources still available from when he was sheriff. And I believe he was a bully sheriff. He bullied everyone, including the court and Judge Mullins. Sheriff Stines' lies and actions were designed to justify the shooting and to implicate Judge Mullins and the court in his illegal activities, which in this case involved sexually assaulting people. When that plan obviously wasn't working, they switched gears, and now they want to get Sheriff Stines off by claiming insanity. Then there's the inconsistency with the arrest. Did he go turn himself in, as they claim? Because the video footage shows him arrested in the courthouse, which would suggest that before he even left the building, he got arrested. So the motive to kill Judge Mullins was twofold: to prevent Judge Mullins from talking or testifying against him related to the lawsuit, and to implicate Judge Mullins in the sexual assaults that were happening in the chambers by planting evidence, in this case, the phone number he planted in the judge's phone, to shift blame from who was really involved. And it seems, at least to a degree, to have worked. And I find it very troubling. Thanks for watching.